Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Well, a good morning. It's definitely a morning. For some, it's a good morning. To others, definitely not. We all know what happened. It was a weird day yesterday. There was excitement. I could feel the excitement in the air. And then last night, it all came to fruition. Arturi Lehkonen scored a goal. But then Cale Makar got injured. So, the other news. Oh, yeah, that too, I guess. I couldn't vote. I'm not American. But I know that there's a lot of feelings right now in the country. Let me be some solace then with some sports news. I know a lot of people don't want to get into all the politics. They're looking for sports as a way out. So I'm not going to talk too much about what happened last night here in this country. What I do want to say is, whoever you voted for, no one is your enemy. And please, we got to stop hating each other in this country for what we believe and what we want for the future of this country. Everyone had their opinions to vote for whoever. Please check in on each other. Some people are very happy today. Some people are very sad. At the end of the day, we're all Americans. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not American. So let's just get into sports. Because amidst all the turmoil yesterday, the Avalanche played a game. The Colorado Avalanche at home against the Seattle Kraken. And it was a good game. Like I said, Arturi Lehkonen finally back. This team has gone through something. So many injuries. And every time we talked about a player maybe returning, we had one or two more out before that player was returning. Some Gabriel Landeskog news that's not too positive. But Arturi Lehkonen was back yesterday. Right away, he scored a goal. And the Avalanche won against the Kraken 6-3. It was a great game to watch. It was great entertainment, great distraction from everything else that was happening on TV. Like I said, Lehkonen, great game. This was he and his teammate and head coach had to say about that.
Felt good. I mean, some parts were rusty, but gonna work on some things and just finding the timing. But overall, felt pretty good.
Great, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, he's our best two-way player. Him and Val, I'd say, best two-way players. Landy when he's healthy. So having them in the lineup is huge, and we definitely benefited greatly.
You feel like that gave you guys room, just a little bit more jump, knowing that he was coming back in tonight?
Yeah, I mean he's one of the best wingers in the league. Just does it all. There's a short list of players you want on your team over him, and to get him back finally was a huge boost in morale.
Everywhere. I mean, yeah, like he power play, scores a nice goal. Great pass by Nate, but 5-on-5, the touches, coming up with pucks, even the one that was reviewed, like that's all him keeping the puck alive and then guys pouring onto it. So, I mean, like he just everywhere. All the things that we know to be his strengths, he brought right away from the drop of the puck tonight.
I still love that big hat that Arturi Lehkonen got, that the player of the game always gets. So funny, so goofy. They scored 6 goals yesterday, which was man, they haven't scored this many in a long while. Mikko Rantanen had 2 goals, Arturi Lehkonen 1 goal, and Nathan MacKinnon had 5 assists. That's huge. All those young guys, they sometimes got the win with just a few more points. The last 2 games, they lost 5-2. So to be able to score 6 points just with one guy back in the lineup was huge. Bednar said something about that too.
Something we've been talking about. There's lots of guys out of the lineup. It's a good lineup we have, but it's still meat and potatoes. So shooting and crashing the net a little bit, I think, is like needs to become part of our DNA. Outside of maybe say Max Line, who likes to play with the puck a lot in the offensive zone. So that's what we talked about before the game, and we came out and kind of stuck to that plan. So didn't really surprise me that when we do that more efficiently, you get more pucks there, more traffic there, that you get rewarded for it. But it's just some nights it's more difficult than others.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday wasn't one of those nights. It was pretty easy for them to score just with one guy back in the lineup. In 9 days, Val Nichushkin is going to return. He's already practicing with the squad. He was out because he didn't get through some drug testing. That was a long time ago. So he went into the NHLPA, the Players Assistance Program. He will return very, very soon. And then the lineup will definitely look very, very different. Moving on to another local team here, the Denver Nuggets taking on OKC tonight. And it's going to be a difficult one because Jamal Murray is still out with the concussion, and Aaron Gordon is going to be out for weeks with the right calf strain. And they're playing in OKC, in Oklahoma City Thunder, who's very good this year. People have high expectations for this team. So to lose Aaron Gordon in this moment is going to be very difficult. They have some players on the bench who are actually doing really great stuff. Julian Strother has really outperformed what people were expecting of him. You have Hunter Tyson doing pretty well. Russell Westbrook now has to chime in on the first group, doing that well, but not scoring a lot of points. But his energy definitely helps. But with two of your main players out against one of the best teams in the league right now, that's going to be very difficult. So I would definitely not put my money on the Nuggets. But I'll have a good bet for you about the Nuggets at the end of this show. Just a little heads up. With Gordon out for a few weeks, they're going to have a difficult schedule. They're playing the Miami Heat, the Dallas Mavericks, the Pelicans, which is fine, the Grizzlies, which is also fine, and then the Lakers. Hopefully, when they play the Lakers, he might be back. He's out for a few weeks. They're playing the Lakers November 23rd. But it's definitely going to be a difficult few games in the next few weeks. So hopefully he won't be out for too long, and hopefully Jamal Murray will come back and actually be a decent player. A lot of, I guess, injury stuff with Jamal Murray. We still don't really know what happened to him and why he's playing the way he is. Let's hope he comes back stronger from this concussion right now. Then the Broncos, very briefly, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend. It's a few days away. We'll talk a lot more about that. But just putting this on your radar, playing the Chiefs are 8-0, won the last two Super Bowls. They got the best quarterback. They got the best fans. And I know that will piss some people off with Taylor Swift. They got Travis Kelce, who's an incredible tight end. And last weekend, they had their first real test, the Broncos, against the Baltimore Ravens, and they lost terribly, tragically, which I think could have been expected. The Ravens are also a very strong, a very strong team. The Broncos had some good wins, but they're still a team that is building towards something. They're not a team that is ready now. They might reach the playoffs somehow, but they're not. You shouldn't look at this Broncos team as a team that has to do it. It's going to be a few years before this team is really up to the strength that could really take on teams in the playoffs. So I'm not expecting too much of the Broncos. It is going to be interesting how they're playing the Chiefs, if they're staying close to them, if they can really upset them. I don't expect that, but we'll see. That was all the local sports news for us today. We have some national and international, of course. I'm from the Netherlands. I got to talk a little bit international stuff and a little bit of soccer. Let's start with some national stuff. The New Orleans Saints have been blessed, accidentally, for real, by the Pope, because he tweeted this yesterday. Let me read this. The Saints are a precious pearl and are always living and relevant because they provide a fascinating commentary on the gospel. Their lives are an illustration of the good news that Jesus brought to humanity. God is our Father, who loves everyone with boundless love. I don't think that the Pope was talking about the New Orleans Saints, but they could definitely use some blessing. This was hilarious. He tweeted this yesterday, and on Twitter, if you don't know, if you tweet the specific hashtag that a team got, for the Avs, it's for example, it's Go Avs Go. For the Nuggets, it's Mile High Basketball. And for the New Orleans Saints, it's hashtag Saints. You get this little tiny logo behind them. I don't think that was what Pope Francis meant, but I think the Saints could definitely use a little bit of a blessing. Definitely, especially after firing their head coach Dennis Allen earlier this week. They lost their game against the Carolina Panthers 23-22 over the weekend. The Broncos beat the Panthers. The Broncos beat the Saints. The fact that they lost this game also to the Panthers, they're 2-7 now, lost the last 7 games in a row. Hopefully, the Pope's blessing will help them a little bit. Then moving on to Brazil for some soccer. I mentioned it before. But first, I want to know if you guys know about the octopus on the ice. It's a tradition by the Detroit Red Wings. When they make the playoff, they throw a dead octopus on the ice because this started in 1952. They throw an octopus on the ice during playoffs because back in the day, you had to win 2 series of 7 games to be the Stanley Cup champions. 2 series of 7, so 2 times winning 4 games would be enough to be Stanley Cup champions. An octopus has 8 arms. That makes sense, right? Well, in Brazil, they thought, well, we can do something like that too, but a little bit different. They threw a pig's head on the field. Corinthians fans threw a pig's head on the field in their game against Palmeiras, 2 teams from Sao Paulo. Huge rivals. It's interesting, very interesting. There was a corner kick, and suddenly someone from the stands threw this pig's head onto the field. I think we should change the graphic. We've seen the head. That's enough. When a player from the Corinthians wanted to kick it off the field, he thought it was a pillow. So he kicked it hard, and he almost broke his foot, he said. Yuri Alberto, but luckily he was fine after. But this begs 2 questions. Why a pig's head, and how the hell do you get a pig's head into the stadium? Let's start with the first one. This is a little bit of backstory. In 1969, a car crash killed 2 Corinthians players, and this was outside of the transfer deadline or the transfer time. And they asked the league and the other teams, is it okay if we buy 2 new players outside of the transfer window? And all the teams agreed. This was a horrible accident, horrible tragedy. But one team refused, which was Palmeiras. So they started calling, the Corinthians fans started calling Palmeiras pigs, which is what you do in soccer. But then the Palmeiras kind of loved that they were called that. And in 1986, a pig became their official mascot. Imagine being horrible people, then being called horrible people, and then your mascot becomes a horrible person or something like that. Wild. How did they get it in? They were in the stadium hours before the game already, left it somewhere, hid it somewhere, and then got it. Still just wild to bring a pig's head into the stadium and then throw it onto the field. Something I wanted to at least let you guys know so we can all share in amazement and disgust. Right? All right. One more story. Conor McGovern, for many people, playing in a pro sports league is the ultimate achievement. For athletic reasons, but also for money. A lot of people are betting everything on a good college to then go pro after and make enough money for your family for maybe generations. But what if that's not the case? What if whatever you are making is not more than you already have. Well, Conor McGovern can talk about that. He is a center for the New Orleans Saints. Just blessed, so that's a good thing. He started his career playing for the Broncos in 2016. He was drafted by the Broncos, played there for 3 years. But he is also heir to a potato empire. It sounds funny, but it's not just a farm. This is a huge, huge thing. RD Offut is what it's called. It's the main supplier for McDonald's, Wendy's, Raising Cane's, Frito-Lay chips, and Idaho and instant mashed potatoes. All from this one company that he is the heir to. They rich. When there was talks about him being able to be drafted into the NFL, his grandfather literally asked him, "Is that really worth it? Do you really want to start playing sports on the highest level where you can make millions upon millions? Is that worth it?" That is a wild thing to ask someone. But if you're in that position, that is just crazy. And now those stories are coming up more and more again because he's been injured a lot. Like I said, he plays for the Saints now. Blessed. He played 12 games, only 12 games in the last year and a half. So why does he still play? He wants to show everyone, and this is what he's been doing since college. He wants to show everyone that just because he has money, just because he knows he will have it good no matter what happens, he still works hard to achieve whatever he wants. And that still drives him right now. Great story. I commend him for it. It's also funny that literally when he comes back, he's on a tractor driving around, learning how to do that business. He says that he is from blue collar money, which is kind of true. He doesn't just have oil money or stock money or a company that just runs. This is still a lot of hard work. Working on a farm, the money just doesn't just show up. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. So in that sense, he is right. He knows how to work hard, and he still works hard in the NFL. Let's see how long he can stay there. But after that, I guess he's got a new job set for him already, a potato farmer, and not just any potato farmer. Front Office Sports wrote a great story about this, so definitely check that out. Ending this with one story before we go to my bet pick of the day. Freddy Freeman, he was the World Series MVP, great player, played so many games, and now he can finally relax a little bit. Just a wholesome moment here. He went home, played some baseball with his kid. Yeah, just wholesome. Let's play the video.
Whoa.
Psych! I thought that was hilarious. I mean, what do you expect? If you're playing with fire, you're going to get burned. This is one of the best players in the league. If you're pitching to him, what do you expect is going to happen? No, in all seriousness, I just saw that video, and especially today on a very, very heavy day, I felt like we could deserve a little laugh. Freddie Freeman with his family, just awesome. I wanted to show you guys that. Then at the end of my show, the bet of the day. I got one bet, actually. We're going back to the Denver Nuggets. And no, I will not tell you to bet them to win against Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm also not going to tell you to bet against the Nuggets. I will never do that. But if you want to bet for the Nuggets, they're plus 225 now if you want to take the money line. My pick for today is Nikola Jokic to score 30 or more points with Aaron Gordon out, with Jamal Murray out. The team is going to rely on him so much. In the last few games, we saw that he scored a few more threes. So I think he can get to those 30 easily, even win or lose. We'll see. So definitely take that bet. I expect that to definitely land. that was Guerilla Sports Daily for today. I know it's a weird day, but there's Nuggets to look forward to. There's Broncos that you can preview. Oh, we've got some comments here from Cedric. Let's see that. We have so many bad. I feel like that's the case for Avs and Nuggets, and I know that you're probably talking about the Nuggets, but the Avs as well. It's going to be a little while before they're actually up to strength again. And the Nuggets losing Jamal Murray, losing Aaron Gordon, having a Russell Westbrook that doesn't score enough points. I think his energy is great, like I said, but if they want to win, especially tonight against an Oklahoma City Thunder, they're going to have to pull a lot more than that. Like I said, Jokic's probably going to score more than 30 points, but is that enough? We'll see. Hopefully, those two will be back soon, because without them, they're just not a very strong team. Just like the Avs in the last few weeks, we saw what happens if you lose too many players. You can play in a system, but it's not enough if you don't have your top players. Another comment here. Gives playtime for our other guys. That's true. And you see that Julius Strother is doing really well. Hunter Tyson is doing really well. Peyton Watson played well last game. But I think you'd rather have a Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon than a Hunter Tyson and a Peyton Watson. Just saying. That is it for Guerilla Sports Daily for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you're unhappy about what happened last night, I'm sorry for you. If you're happy about last night's result, I'm happy for you. I don't want to say too much about it. I just want us all to not hate each other. We're all people. We all feel a lot of things today. So just check in on your friends. And drive safe in that snow out there. The whole world changed. It's snowy. Crazy. Stay safe. Be good to each other. And I'll see you next week.